left on the sidewalk skyline.
Hi everybody, we're at the Wigwam Brook Wildlife Sanctuary in Litchfield, Connecticut. We've been to Boydwood, as you could almost see it over here. But this is real interesting because this is part of the restoration of the American chestnut, and here we have a lot of history. Boils down to a food source and wood. Here was the range of it, okay? You can see it. So clearly Connecticut, we're definitely a real prime area for it. Here it goes on to talk about the blight. It was first identified in 1904 in the Bronx Zoological Park. Too bad it wasn't the Cryptozoological Park. We'll work on that. Bronx, you got something to work on. But here, this is what it does. And they're talking about here restoring it. And it started in 1983. Goes on to say, here we go, in 2009 they talked about doing the first forest plantings, and they're using genetic modification for that. Here is our sanctuary. Do not bring your dog here, just like Wigwam Brook. This is a great kiosk, and it's a wildlife research area. There are some cages with the chestnuts. I guess we could go over there. Last time I was in there and I closed the gate behind me, I got a really weird claustrophobic feeling, like just being in this cage in the woods here. It's a very odd feeling, but so let's see. We're here. There's something called the Bones and Bottle Trail. That's up this way. And there's a conifer loop. Conifers, that's your pine trees. Wigwam Brook going through the whole thing. This would be over here, would be Boyd Woods. You got some great this is just a fantastic kiosk, you know, and they show the chestnut on there and some trail information and stuff. We'll save that for someone else. But Litchfield, this is your best kiosk. I'm gonna hug this kiosk camera person. I'm gonna get in there. Come on, give me a good hug. Support your local kiosks. They're awesome. And your flyberries. Let's go get in one of those cages and see if we can get that claustrophobic feeling. We're on location today. I wouldn't say we're investigating. We are gonna demonstrate. I have chocolate and oranges and some copper. We're gonna do some gifting for the little people today. So you see here we got a lot of tracks, and these are rabbit tracks, and you can tell from the droppings here, and it looks like they're feeding on maybe some of this here, some of this dried grass, which is going to be an awful lot like hay. Same thing the cows and the horses are eating right now. And of course the rabbits are going to live in these thickets. Gives them a lot of protection. My guess is that they're, you know, rabbits don't make burrows like people think they do. They don't. They utilize burrows from groundhogs and things like that. But they're down in here housed, and they're clearly here. Yeah. So, rabbits are a forage base. You got bittersweet. I don't know that this bittersweet here, these red berries, I don't know. I'm just gonna guess that something's eating that. Definitely poisonous. No, it's not. That's actually was kind of sweet. When they're first out, they're bitter. But that was I could eat that. Yeah. Ah, inkberries. So this is real close to the Audubon, and this is the kind of thing that the rabbits and the birds are going to eat now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff for small animals here. And if you have stuff for small animals, then you have stuff. The small animals feed the big animals, and that's just the way it is in nature. Hard to tell what these other tracks are. We got a lot of human tracks here. All right, so here we are. This is you can see that they have this really fenced off really well, and here's for a truck entrance. This is for pedestrian entrance, and they're protecting these trees. They're probably ready to start having a couple nuts here and there. Let's go in there. It's real claustrophobic. Be careful on this fence. We don't want this falling over. That's far enough. But as for protecting anything, something was in here, and then it went over there. So it's probably whatever it is. Might be a fox or something small enough to sort of squeeze through here. But these are the chestnut trees. So here they are. That one's tagged. These now are genetically modified organisms, so they are GMOs. But I just don't know. Chestnuts, like acorns, even more than acorns, they provide a really substantial forage base, and they provide way more food than your average acorn will. And it's a shame because a lot of animals really depended on it. But here it is. This thing goes on and on. And you're caged in here. I'm not getting that sort of weird claustrophobic feeling because the last time I was here, it was getting dark. And there's limited animals. I see some tracks coming through here. My guess would be fox. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. I want to get into these trees. So this must be what they were talking about, the conifer loop, because these are pine trees. So what we'll do is we'll see if any tracks go in there. I want to get in these. It's real nice inside a conifer grove. Okay, so I'm going to guess this is coyote. No dogs are allowed here. We left our dog home. And you know from our videos how great of a squatcher our dog is. But we're going to go in there. These tracks they're going this way. My guess is going to go check out the road. Coyotes will get and foxes will get a lot of roadkill. Let's follow these tracks up. Now, again, keeping in mind, we're going against the course of travel here. We're going inside here. Yeah, this is cool. I really like going in these places in the winter because it's so much easier to walk around. More coyote tracks. Some fairly substantial tracks here. Okay, this is deer tracks. They're going that way. They're coming in here. These deer are coming in here to eat the tips of all this stuff, and you could see that the pine needles start sort of up, and they'll get up here and lean on this and eat as much of the tips as they can, and that's why there's no green parts down low right now. And it does look like they've done some manicuring here. I can only speculate as to why, but so there's a lot of tracks in here. I think we'll go around this way. This is that deer. That was a dove. That was a mourning dove. Unfortunately, people do hunt them. That dove was up here getting that sunlight in, and that's kind of what we're doing today. I like this mound. This is a rock. Okay, cool. Let's go back here. This is a gift. And some chocolates. I saw a guy in the UK. He's leaving sweets for the little people. He's a real interesting fella. Watched him today on YouTube doing something very much like this. He goes back. We're not going to be back here, but we're going to gift them anyway. Because he mentioned them using technology, which is interesting because, as you know, one of the things that we like to do is when we gift, we leave one of the three noble metals: gold, silver, and for us we leave copper. The noble metals, of course, you've heard me say this before, are the metals that occur in their metallic state. And I'm going to leave three beautiful shiny pennies right there. We talk an awful lot about squatching. And the fellow that I was watching today, he's going after, they had a lot of caves there. We don't have a lot of that. But he was searching for like pixies and yeah, almost like, he called them goblins, but he had another word, kalabin or something like that. You could look it up. And he left sweets and some other stuff, snail shells and things like that. But this is what we're leaving today: old tangerine, 3 chocolates, and 3 pennies. Of course, I like things in threes, you know. And I'll tell you, so we're not coming back, but we're trying to establish a rapport with the little people. Maybe they are sort of on a psychic wavelength. Maybe not. But that copper, that can just be pounded with rocks into different shapes for them. Very useful. Even if they trade amongst themselves, you know, that kind of thing. And of course the chocolate and the tangerine go without mention. Anything with vitamin C right now is going to be important. And I'll tell you what. It's squatchy in here. We're not really investigating today. We're just on vacation. But we're close to the road. And that's unfortunate. Guess try a howl. Maybe a quiet one. Whoa! Ah, there we go. We always get the crows. I like it here. You like this camera person of Pine Grove? I think it's the first time we shot in a Pine Grove like this. If I had to guess, that's fir. Yeah, that's fir or spruce. I'm leaning towards fir trees. No, it's hard to tell. It's not my real strong point. Let's move on. We left our gifts. We're trying to build up a relationship with the little people. Look at this forage base here. Look at this stuff. Here. Now that might not seem like much to you, but to a bird or a squirrel or something, that there could very well be edible. And when you're stuck with this limited amount of food, yeah, you start to think about that real quick. We got a lot of this here's a trick. Large deer. And I can see more as I look up that way. This is a really nice place, just fun. Really cool. And I'm guessing the deer come in here. I would guess that they would sleep in a place like this. The ground's a little more compact. These trees aren't so high that they're going to be widow makers, which a lot of the softer pines, as they get very large, get some large brims, they'll just fall off and kill you. And that's why they call them widow makers. But if I had to guess, look at it right over here. Let's just go right over here. So we can have a whole herd of deer here, sleeping on these sort of firm places. You're out of the wind, you're sheltered. But again, you know, your deer, coyotes are right on their tracks. It's tough out there. Yeah. That's a big deer. So this one leg and then this one leg. This is one stride. And then this is one stride and this is one stride. So they're this far apart. Yeah, it's 3.5 to 4 feet wide. That's a big deer. So you can see, I mean, they're probably having no problems just reaching up and eating this. Excellent source of vitamin C. You're probably wondering, is he going to actually eat that? You know he is. That's got that. No, I'll eat it. That's 100% of your daily fiber needs for sure. Wood fiber is an excellent source of fiber. And vitamin C. And it's very, very piney. Try it. You go out there, grab. You want to try a camera person? You want to? No, no. You want me to pick some for you for later? Let it dry out. Oh, you know what? That's not half bad. Yeah, that's yummy. I could see making a nice stir fry with that or something. A nice pine shrimp stir fry. Oh yeah. Camera person, I think I'm gonna make you up a bowl of pine stir fry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You really should try it. It's actually, listen, Pine is really good for your stomach. It's not bad. Once it gets in there, get a little bit of that bittersweet, some of this pine. When we're at Paracon, I'll have some fresh pine for you if you want to give it a try. You know, this is a really big deer. So let's have a look. So we have one coyote coming down this way, and I won't step on the track. Yeah, that's what I thought. You got another coyote coming up this way. You could see where it turned around, met this coyote right here. This one continued this way. This one turned around like it was gonna go up that way, but then decided to follow this one. If that's a fox, that's a really big fox, but I see two of them. And then they continued down this way. There you go, demonstrating canine social behavior. Like, hey, I'm coming up looking for food, you're coming down. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? You know? And then they dig for a mouse right there. Mice get under here. They make burrows. You can't even see them. Owls and foxes will get them a lot. Rabbit. Tracking a rabbit, maybe. I didn't see any signs of any fur, any blood, or anything over there. So we get more. The same. Somebody was here with snowshoes, and let's see. So this is all planted. This is all genetically modified, and here you have our beloved hardwoods. Nice oak tree right here. You see oak? Here it is, January. This is an easy one. I mean, of course, a lot of people know the shape of an oak leaf. There it is. Oak trees will hold their leaves right up until they start growing new ones. And this fella here, these are some really nice old growth trees. So that's it. You know, we're out looking for tracks. We are, of course, always looking for squatch tracks. Dogman. Today we demonstrated gifting. Now if you do that, and you go to a place where you can sort of visit, come back, you know, leave a gift, come back, see if they left a gift, keep this up, maybe just sit in the area and just photograph just that, where you left your gift. We're a little too restless here at CCIS for that. And we like to show you new places all the time, you know. This is very cool. You could just see the trees look like they're doing great. I don't see any signs of that disease that they're worried about that started in 1905. You know what? This is the kind of thing that genetics can be used for, you know, that isn't so bad. You can see here, if you look over the cameras, the tops of those trees, you can see that reddish russet color starting on the tips of that trees. That's the trees coming back to life. That's them pushing up the sap to push out buds and make leaves. So we're right on the edge of spring. I always like to see that. This is a really nice place to do that. And I can see that It's coming, man. We're almost out of this winter. This winter hasn't been that bad. I want to just thank everybody for checking us out. And let's just move along. But we'll see you out there. So, you know, a couple of the followers have asked, they said, you know, why aren't you doing those sucralose impersonations anymore? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't want to beat a dying horse, but, you know, let's do it. So, yeah, sucralose. You need like a fancy $200 a session hairstylist to make your hair do that. And me, I just eat pine needles. And this is probably a side effect of pine needles. So is it necessary to hire a $200 an hour hairdresser so you can go on the History Channel? The answer is a resounding no. Okay, people, that's for you. Let me see if I can do the Patterson Gimlets footage for you. Okay? I'm gonna be that sasquatch one. We're just joking around.